We borrowed some money from a family member, my father-in-law and mother-in-law.
And what do you owe them?
About $80,000.
Oof.
They're thinking we shouldn't be spending money when we owe them money, and I just wanted your advice on that.
Do you want me to get harder, Jeremy, or do you want me to leave you alone? Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I just started your book this last month with my wife. We are on baby step number 2. And to long story short, we basically borrowed some money from a family member, my father-in-law and mother-in-law, about a year and a half ago. And we put a manufactured home there, used the money for that. We're paying them back pretty quickly, it feels like. Made a dumb decision again before I started your book and went out and bought a toy. And it's kind of putting some stress on our relationship with them. They're thinking we shouldn't be spending money when we owe them money. And I just wanted your advice on that.
What'd you buy?
A 4-wheeler.
Okay. What'd you spend on the 4-wheeler?
$6,000, and we financed it, but it's almost paid off now.
Okay. And what do you owe them?
About $80,000.
Okay. Oof. So they loaned you the money to buy a house. Put a house,
manufactured home.
A trailer.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
On their property?
Yes, sir.
So you have an $80,000 trailer and you don't own the dirt?
Correct.
Oh, God. Okay. Wow. Well, what are the terms? I mean, did you have a payment system with them, a certain amount you're supposed to pay them every month?
Yes, yeah, and we've been paying that on time every time, obviously.
You were not, well, not obviously. I mean, you've never been late, and yet they expected that you would prepay them rather than do anything else. Why did they expect that?
That's a good question.
Okay.
And, our thing is we have a pretty good relationship with them, and things just kind of got awkward. So do I sell the toy, take a loss, and move on? You're the expert, I guess. That's my question.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know if there was any pressure that you felt at any time or your wife felt at any time to borrow $80,000 from them to then get a pre-mod trailer and put it on their property. Was there pressure there, or was it just they threw it out and you guys love the idea?
So basically, we sold our house and had some money set aside to do this project, and it was just an idea that got thrown out there, and nobody thought it would really work. We were able to make it work, and we were pretty excited about that. There wasn't too much pressure there. It will most likely be our property at some point. So there wasn't too much for us on worrying with that.
Okay, there's 2 layers to this situation. The first layer is the simple 4-wheeler question. Okay?
Yes, sir.
On the simple 4-wheeler question, I think you and your wife need to go over, ask them if you can come over and talk and have a cup of coffee and bring a pie. And you just sit down and say, we thought that we had a monthly payment arrangement with you, and as long as we were doing that, we thought we were doing the right thing. Somehow there must have been more to the agreement than we understood. Okay. Because if we go on vacation, you're going to be mad. If we buy a 4-wheeler, you're going to be mad. But we didn't know that was part of the deal. And so we need to get on the same page about what our deal is, because I thought our deal was I pay you monthly payments and you're happy. But now it's I pay you monthly payments and I have to check with you before I buy anything. Mm-hmm. And that's not a deal I'm okay with. Yeah. Now, agreed, you shouldn't have bought a stupid 4-wheeler in this situation, okay? That's aside. Yeah. And you can say that. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have bought the toy. But I'm trying to figure out what our boundaries are here so that I don't upset you again into the future. And basically call them out because they're out of line. You did a stupid thing, but they don't have a right to be upset about it because you kept your part of the deal.
Yep.
I'm telling you, sell this four-wheeler and get yourself out of debt with that money. Yeah, definitely do that. But that not paying towards them. Okay, that's layer number one. That's the easiest layer. Do you want me to get harder, Jeremy, or do you want me to leave you alone?
Nope, I want to hear it.
Okay. You guys have made a colossal mess. You've violated about 6 things here, and you're going to get it's not going to turn out well, I'm afraid. Colossal rule number 1 is you never build a property, you never put $80,000 worth of collateral on someone else's dirt. I don't care whose dirt it is. Period. Because you do not have control of the situation. If they are in a car wreck in the middle of the night, fall asleep at the wheel, and these sweet little people hit somebody head on and they get sued for $200 million, the dirt under your trailer is gone in that lawsuit. And they have no control over that, and you have no control over that. So you have set yourself up, and I've seen this 1,000 times in 30 years of doing what I do. Not owning the dirt under your trailer is a massive mistake, number 1. Borrowing $80,000 from your in-laws for anything, for any reason, is a massive mistake, number 2. The borrower is slave to the lender, and as you have figured out, masters change the rules sometimes. You're the slave. Problem number 3. You spent $80,000 on something that's going down in value, not up in value. Trailers go down in value. They don't go up in value. So in 15 years, what's this $80,000 trailer worth? Nothing. You're burning $80,000 on your kitchen table every night, a little bit at a time. So you got a massive entanglement of mess here. And I don't know exactly how to get you out of that one as easy as I did the other one. This is not a cup of coffee and a pie. But if I'm in your shoes, I'm going to start trying to unravel this thing. If I can figure out a way to honorably do that, I'm guessing the trailer won't bring $80,000 now, right?
No.
Okay. What would it bring now?
It might get close. You know, there's not a lot of them around to get a good idea. But
okay, if you can get out of it, I would sell it and start fresh renting somewhere and give them their money back and keep you from owning an asset that's going down in value sitting on dirt that you don't own. Man, this is you're playing Russian roulette, and there's 3 bullets in the gun, not one.
Yeah, Dave, he's been sufficiently burned. I'll offer some salve, and the salve.
I got permission.
No, you're right. No, you couldn't be more right. I just can't add anything to it other than to say this: walk away from this to realize it could have been way worse, and this thing can get nastier if you don't fix it now. And I could not say that enough. You can dig out of this, but I would start digging quickly and make all these changes, and you'll look back on this and go, whew. I'm glad I did it.
It's going to get worse. The relationship's going to get worse. The finances are going to get worse. Everything's going to get worse. There's nothing in this story that turns out good.
Yeah.
And the problem is, to stop and say that out loud is like walking up in the middle of the town square and saying the emperor has no clothes. Everybody's going to look at you and go, but wait. Your wife's going to look at you, their precious little daughter, and go, my daddy wouldn't. Oh, yes, he did. He already bitched about the four-wheeler. Of course he's going to do it. It's coming. You know what your daddy's going to do.
Right.
Okay, I already know what your daddy's going to do. I read his mail.
Well, Dave, this makes me think of the classic line in the wedding vows, leave and cleave. There is a psychological reason for doing that. There's wisdom in that phrase.
Yeah, and
not
parents,
living on their land.
Well, mom and dad have got some money and they've got some land and they were trying to do something nice, and they did a good thing in a dumb way.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
You know, how could you do this differently? All right, I'll tell you how you could do it differently. You carve up your property, you put a property line on it, and you give a parcel of it to your daughter. And if you want her to have an $80,000 property, have her build something on there that will go up in value and give her $80,000 of your money. Don't loan it to her and make her your slave and change the quality of your relationship. Thanksgiving dinner tastes different when you eat with your master. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.